give what I call nuggets of wisdom. They're taken from the scriptures and they are given in coined phrases so that you can apply them to life's everyday living and the circumstances of life. And so this morning I want to give you these nuggets, but the caption is listen to your inner unctions. Listen to your inner unctions. An unction is an inner anointing. That's what an unction is. And what I'm saying to you, there are times we say, I wish I had done what I felt. Something spoke to you inwardly. And you then, after you did not do what you felt, you speak in regret. And you say, I wish I had done what I felt. Or you say, why didn't I do what my mind told me? Inner unction. And people just won't listen to the inner unctions of God. Sometimes we say, something told me not to do that. Inner unction. God speaking to you. Whenever you get to a place that you ask, should I do this or maybe I shouldn't, don't do it. Something is talking to you. You listen. And there are those of us at times that within yourself, see, people misunderstand about the spirit of discernment. You think that something like an epiphany occurs, something that is phenomenal. No, the spirit of discernment, whether or not you believe it or not, you may already have it. And you don't know it. Sometimes you see people that you could have become close to, but for some reason, something in you, let me put it this way, have you been talking with people and you're laughing, you're carrying on, having a nice time? But there's something, even though you're laughing and talking, there's something in you that ain't clicking. You're talking, but something ain't gelling. That's a discernment. Telling you there's something about this person that maybe it isn't genuine, but something that you ought not be connected with. So what you do, you just go and do it anyway. It's like if you're going to get married and some people are telling you, don't do it. And there are things that they say to you in regard to the spirit, but you do it anyway. And the young listened to that which was in him, and he didn't do it. Proverbs chapter 20, verse 27. The spirit of a man is the candle of the Lord. Listen at that. What is a candle? A light. What does a light do? It comprehends darkness. It dissipates darkness. That's what a light does. He came into this world, and the world comprehended him not. And the world was full of darkness, but it comprehended him not. The spirit of a man is, listen, talk about the spirit is in you now. In you now. The spirit of a man is the candle of the Lord. He speaks in your spirit. But you won't listen. And I say this much, we won't listen. There are two wars that are going on within all of us. One is the war of the flesh and the war of the spirit. Jesus underwent that as well. When he said, Father, be thy will, let this cup pass from me. And then he concludes by capitulating and saying, not my will, but thy will be done. In other words, he succumbed to the will of God, but he was struggling with his will and God's will. But the spirit of man is the cradle of the Lord, searching all the inward parts of the belly. So you have the spirit. We are spirit beings. We are spirit beings in a physical house. And the Spirit of God speaks in us. And that's what we call the unction, the unction. Have you ever gone and you did something and all the time when you were going to do it and when you did it, you just knew it was not the thing to do. But you did it anyway. Well, why is that? Searching, the Spirit searching all of the inward, in you, inward parts of the belly. Metaphorically speaking, It's not talking about your guts. The belly is the cradle of the substance of life, like we're talking. And the Spirit of God searches all the inward parts in you. And when it searches, it's moving, and it comes to you and tells you. And if you look at your life, just think about it. If you look at your life, the inward speaking to you didn't start when you got saved. You look at your life, there were times in your life before you got saved that God was speaking to you inwardly, but you didn't listen. He searches out the inward things. Remember the second one, Job says, "For I am full of matter." Job 32:18, "The spirit within me constraineth me." In other words, what Job was saying, he's going through all of this stuff, and what he wanted to do, he did not do, because there was something in him that constrained. That word constrained comes from restraint, means holds him back inside. Have you ever been to a place where you wanted to slap the heaven out of somebody? But something. Have you ever wanted to just tell somebody all of the alphabets, mothers and fathers and uncles and brothers, cousins and nieces? You never felt like that? But you held it back. Constraints. He said, "Well, I'm full of matter." Look, here the man lost everything he had. Wife telling him to curse God and die. And he was to the point where he wanted to do something. He said, "But I know what's happening to me, but there is a spirit in me that constraineth me." Listen to what's happening to you on the inside. What God is saying to you on the inside. Don't you ever take it for granted. That's why you are as successful as you are. That's why you're in the mess that you're in. Because you either listened or you did not. You have to remember, God is not your resource. God is your source. He's not only your source, but he gives you the right of inclusion or exclusion. You can include God into you, or you can exclude him. It's a choice thing. And what happens to us in the church, we take serious matters and make them funny. You hear people say, "Man, I lied." Ha! Y'all think that's funny? No, it's not. You're perpetuating your children to become habitual liars. But it's funny. The Bible speaks against us laughing at the sacred things. But we don't see anything today that's sacred. Nothing is sacred. Nothing about anything. People shack up and they don't see anything wrong with it. You know why? Because the world is doing it. So it's popular that I shack up because that's what my friends are doing. No regard for the sacred things. No regard for it. Job said, "For I'm full of matter. The spirit within me constraineth me." Life is not a joke. You can make it a joke. Infirmity is a temporary problem. It's not a permanent problem, it's a temporary problem. Now here's when we make our mistake. Read it in the book of James. It says, "If there is sick among you, let him call for the elders of the church. But if anyone has an infirmity," what does it say? "Let him do what? Pray." And infirmity is a temporary problem that you have. The Bible does not tell you to tell other people about your problems. The Bible says when you have an infirmity, you pray. But if you're sick, call for the elders of the church. You got to differentiate between when you call and when you don't call. You call when you're sick, or when you have an infirmity, you pray. An infirmity is a temporary problem, but a wounded spirit who can bear? Let us go down to Ephesians chapter 3. "That he would grant you according to the riches of his glory to be strengthened with might by his spirit in the inner man." In the inner man. That's why you're here for worship. You're not here for exercise, like I was telling you last Sunday, that many people have made resolutions. But there's a difference between a resolution and being resolute. A resolution is a statement or a written form of a commitment to a certain thing that you wish to achieve. That's a resolution. But to be resolute means I'm going to be determined to implement the resolution. It's like you buy a jogging suit and you're going to exercise. You got your tennis and you got your jacket. That's what you're going to do. We'll lose 10 pounds this year. That's what you get your jogging suit for. You got it the first day of the year. That's what you're going to do. But now, you use your jogging suit to lay around in the house. You know why? Because you weren't resolute. You have made the resolution, but you're not resolute. Your lack of resoluteness turned that jogging suit into a lounging suit rather than an exercising suit.
Come on, sir.
Just somebody say, listen to that.
Listen to that. Listen to that. Listen to it.
But that he would grant according to the riches of glory to be strengthened with might by his spirit in the inner man, in the inside. That's why you're here. I'm trying to build you up spiritually on the inside.
Come on, sir.
But you know what? Life is a joke. Even church today, people are disingenuous, and when it comes to the church, not only are they disingenuous, they just don't believe that people in the church mean right. And they have become cynics. And cynicism is when you have that opinion about nothing that has any validity to it, and you see it as a game. But you come to church, but it does not mean that there's sincerity in it. That's for you to judge yourself. What you have to do is recognize that you and I are living in the interval between birth and death. Yeah. All of us, that's what we are. Yeah. Yeah. We are caught between those two. Birth, death, like a vice. Yeah. Yeah. You're in between it. And every child, and every boy, every man, every bishop, whomever, you're going to die.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
That's a fact.
That's right.
And evidences are shown in your life and in your body. I have more time behind me than I have in front of me. That's a reality. I can't change that. I cannot regress. For time is progressive, and because of the great progressiveness of time, it moves upon all of us. That's why your hair gets white. Mine doesn't get white. God fixed my hair. He told me to buy some tint.
Yes, sir.
And he told you to get a wig. Oh. But what I'm saying to you, all of us are caught into that. Yeah. That's why you're in the church. Because you know you gonna die. Right. Don't take life for granted. Right. You can play with it if you wanna, but you're gonna suffer the consequences. Yeah. That's just it. Yeah. You can shack up, you can do your thing. You can come to church, don't care about whether there's nothing about church.
Come on, sir. Come on.
The farthest thing from your mind. I'm just going. I'm just a member of the church. I'm not a member. I'm just an attendant of the church.
Come on, sir. Talk about it.
But you're just going. But the truth of the matter is, you have an opportunity in here to get your soul right with God. That's it.
Come on, sir.
The inner man. Listen to this. 1 John chapter 4, verse 4. You are God, little children. Never overcome them, because greater is he that is in you. He didn't say greater is it. Greater is he. It is this glass. Is inanimate. It has no consciousness. This glass has no consciousness. It's inanimate. Animation speaks to life and consciousness. You and I are animated. We are not inanimate objects. And the Bible says, greater is he that is in you. That he's talking about God in you and the devil in the world. And you need to start listening to that spirit that's on the inside of you. And if you, one of the best things you can do is Hezekiah turned his face toward the wall and prayed unto the Lord. And don't tell me that when you think about dying, you won't pray. That's right. And said, this is what Hezekiah said in prayer. He said, Lord, remember me. He said, I beg you. Then he said, I have walked before thee in truth. Hezekiah reached back and started talking about his life. He said, Lord, I walked right before you. Then he said, I walked with a perfect heart. Number one. He said, I've done that which is good in thy sight. He said, I've done everything that you want me to do. And he said, now you're telling me I'm going to die. And then he started crying. He started weeping and crying. Now listen to me. He was able to have lived in such a way that at the point of his death, that he could count on the equity that he had in his life. Y'all don't understand what I'm saying. He said to God, he said, look, Lord, I've done the right thing. And I've tried to do the best that I can. And I've gone through a whole lot of hell trying to do the right thing. And now you telling me I'm going to die. That's what he told God. He told God, I've been faithful. And believe me now, that's what's going to happen to all of us when we start facing death and leaving this world, that we're going to start thinking about how our life has been up to the time that we're going to die. And this man said, Lord, listen to me. He said, I have done the right thing. Whatever you wanted me to do, I did it. And things I could have done that I didn't do, trying to be the right thing or to do the right thing, and I thought I was on the right track, and then you're telling me that I'm going to die. Things that I could have done, I didn't do. Places I could have gone that I didn't go. I was trying to do the right thing. And I turned down a lot of stuff that I could have had trying to do the right thing. And now you telling me I'm going to die? I'm telling you, Lord, I don't want to die. I'm telling you that I feel like what I've done ought to be enough for me to get a few more years in my life. Isn't that some kind of way to talk to God when you can talk about what you've already done? That, Lord, I've called on your name when I was supposed to call upon your name. I went to church every Sunday and I sought you like I never sought anybody before. I fasted and I prayed and I sought you every day. And I've done the right thing, and I've tried to do what I thought you wanted me to do. And then you telling me I'm going to die. I ain't ready to go. That's what he was saying. I ain't ready to die now. You got to tell God I ain't ready to go. Talk to him like you mean it. And say, Lord, I'm your child. And I can do more for you living than I can dead. And I want to talk to you right now and tell you, if you give me some more time, I'll show you that I mean the right thing. If you give me some more time, I'll praise you like I never praised you before. And I'll get a praise in my heart like you never seen before. I know I got cancer, but Lord, give me some more time. I know I got breast cancer, but give me some more time. I know I got heart trouble, but give me some more time. I know I got lung trouble, but if you just give me some more time, I'll give you the best praise that you've ever had in your life. Because when I think of your goodness and all that you've done for me, my soul increases. That means that if you are 30, God's going to multiply that. He gave